Hello. Welcome to your HeartMatters journey. My name is Robin Mallory. Let's begin this journey by cultivating a familiarity with mindfulness. Being mindful means that you're giving yourself permission to become an observer, to notice the details of the experience as you are in that experience. We tend to rush through our day, not always, but often enough, and in that place of rushing, we often don't have the opportunity to pay attention to the details. It's from that place of mindfulness, becoming the observer, that not only do you cultivate joy and a sense of fulfillment because you're living more fully, but more importantly, you are also training your brain at a level to let go of some of the internal and external stimulation that goes on throughout the day that pulls away our attention and keeps our brains a little bit overactive. And as we pursue this journey of optimal health and well-being, we'll continue to come back to this theory of mindfulness and how it serves us in regards to integrating healthful behaviors. So mindfulness is a place of observation. It's paying attention to the details. It's such a rich and fulfilling way of living through life. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it all the time, although the more often you live in mindfulness, the more familiar that will become to you and the more readily you'll be able to live more fully in each experience. Some examples would be that when you're hopping out of your car on the way to the grocery store and you're going through the parking lot, instead of looking down at your shopping list or thinking ahead of how you're going to zip up and down the aisles, take a moment to look around. If there's trees in the parking lot, notice that there's birds singing from the treetops. If you see a young mother unloading a kid or two from the car, notice the laughter of the child or the smile that the child gets when the mom picks her up out of the car seat and holds her close as they're going into the store. Those little details will not only touch your heart, but train your brain to slow down and pay attention. Another example that's sort of on the opposite end of the continuum would be that place of observation as it applies to your responses, what is evoked for you emotionally throughout the day with an experience. For instance, you're driving along, minding your own business, and a fellow cuts you off in traffic and zips over to the exit ramp. And you sit back, instead of becoming provoked and gesturing perhaps, or allowing yourself to escalate into a stress response of frustration, you give yourself the gift of mindfulness and you sit back as an observer and say, how about that? How interesting. That gentleman felt that he needed to get to where he was going sooner than I did, and I'm going to bless him well on his way and let him do what he needs to do. And that observation of letting go and just being in the moment allows you to not only be kind to your body in terms of diminishing the stress response, but it gives you a sense of perspective on what's important. You're observing your reaction or your response, and you're allowing yourself to pay attention to that detail. When we live in mindfulness, we are able to fine-tune our focus and liberate the brain from being overstimulated. In that mindful state, we become more receptive to joy, we become more receptive to compassion for ourselves as well as for others, and our brain is able then to take in new information and new ideas, which again, as we pursue this optimal health journey together, we'll want to make room in our brains, our very busy brains, for these new behaviors that we'll be working on.